Crazy photos you won't see anywhere else. According to local tradition, this is the tomb of Adam, the first man, located in a remote necropolis in western Uzbekistan. Pilgrims enlarge the mausoleum every year, as local lore says the end of the world will come when the last brick falls. The middle lid on a can of Nestle Quick, where you had to use a spoon to pry it open. In 1972, Apollo 16 astronaut Charles Duke left behind a photograph of himself and his family on the moon. Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Then and Now, 1985, 2023, 1848, Oxley Street, South Pasadena, California. U.S. soldiers with guard dogs walk patrol on a beach in Los Angeles, CA, in order to spot possible Japanese attackers, 1943. A boy's doodles from nearly 800 years ago. Burbank High School parking lot in Burbank, California, 1966. Nikola Tesla, the last photo ever of the famous scientist, 1st January 1943. The clear craze of the 80s and 90s when everything was clear from staplers, phones, and Game Boys. What an abandoned mansion looks like as it deteriorates without care between 1965 and 2012. A Civil War veteran poses with his grandchildren in Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania, around the year 1900, courtesy of the Library of Congress. No turtleneck sweaters at El Capitan, Memphis, TN, 1968. This is what a featherless owl looks like. Brad Pitt and Gwyneth Paltrow in NYC, 1995. Harvard historians' ranking of U.S. presidents from a 1948 Life magazine. Can't beat the aroma. Bug-infested woods in the fall. Julie Newmar as Catwoman. Pamela Anderson at her home in British Columbia, Canada, 1985. Still with her natural hair color. Unhappy coffee. A jar of beetroot leaked in the fridge and it looks like a Kubrick movie. Old school Pizza Hut. This thing in the middle of the park by the river with no one around. Jane with her first car. Cardiff, Wales, 1968. Wind catchers rise across the skyline of the old city of Yazd in Iran. Believed to have originated in ancient Persia thousands of years ago, these tall, chimney-like structures were designed to cool the interiors of buildings by capturing cool breezes and directing them downward. The wives of the Apollo 8 astronauts at the moment they heard their husbands' voices from orbit in the year 1968. Movie theater tells you if there's a scene near the end of the movie. Marilyn Monroe, then still Norma Jean, photographed by Andre de Dians, 1945. Halloween in the 90s. The Prime Minister of Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew, crying on national television while announcing the separation of Singapore from Malaysia, 1965. These tree leaves are turning orange in a beautiful gradient. Legendary cup, Frank Serpico, in 1960s. Abandoned shipwrecks. Between the years 2008 and 2014, scientists rappelled down cliffs in southern Spain to reach a dozen bearded vulture nests and examine their contents. They discovered a 750-year-old shoe, along with more than 200 other human artifacts. Inanimate machinery, terrifying nonetheless. Pepper that fell behind the fridge, dried perfectly instead of molding. Hollywood video. An actual photo of Theodore Roosevelt and John Muir at Yosemite, 1903. Jack Beatty with Jane Mansfield in 1956. Having 100 of these discs in random places of your house. A young couple starting out in the 1940s. Why? Dawn Wells, 1960s.